Testing, testing, testing. Too loud. The true speaker. Hello, 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 hello. There we go. Sounds good. To the- Come to life eternal. The time is here, the time is now. So get up and put on your crown. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, love bugs. It's your favorite motivator's favorite motivator, Mimi the Motivator. And this is the Get High on Motivation show. So welcome back to a new episode. And we're almost in a new season. And if you're new, I'm sorry that I'm singing in your ear. It's just this thing that I do sometimes. And this other thing that I do sometimes, and I try to do every show. Ooh, that word try. It does not exist. What I am willing to do every show is to challenge you and myself to become 1% better in one area of our life. We're not trying to make 360-degree turns, but we can do 1% every single day. So that 1 year from now, we will be a brand new person doing brand new things and hopefully owning some brand new things too. All right. So we will have our show per our usual. We'll have some food for thought coming from my tea bag. We'll have a conversation about toxic relationships and toxic parents. Ooh, I didn't do my homework for one part. Ooh, that's okay. I think I got enough experience for y'all to share. And then lastly, we will answer a question. All right. So my tea bag says, I should have put my glasses on. Give love, get love. Give love, get love. I mean, that's like the law of attraction right there in its simplest form. Give love, get love. What you give, you will receive. What you put out there will come back to you. What goes around comes around. Give love, get love. There's a lot of people that are wanting the people in their lives to love them more, or they're looking for love. And you know, they always say we're looking for love in all the wrong places, and it's true. Because we're looking for people to give us what we're not even giving. You have to be willing to give love to get love. It doesn't just come. It's not something that's owed. Not even if you are in a familial relationship. We're never owed love. It seems like it will be a natural thing, you know, to love your child or to love your parent or to love your sibling or anybody else that is a blood relation, to love your neighbor, to love a stranger. Whew. I think loving strangers is easy. Loving family is hard. Sometimes even loving your boo is hard. Can anybody feel that? I can. I want to talk about what giving love looks like. Love is an action verb. And very often we have asserted very often we have connected this word to a feeling, thinking that's something that happens to us. I'm in love. You know, you fall in love. Falling in love is not the same thing. That's not love. We'll talk about that on another show. We need to talk about that, love versus in love. But giving love, love is an action verb. Love is something that the person who you claim that you are loving is something that they will recognize and they will be able to give witness to. If you love someone, there should be clues, there should be evidence to support this. Otherwise, it could be just talk. Are you really loving the person? Are you really loving the people in your life? Are you really giving love, or are you just only expecting it? Think about it. I bet you're expecting it. You're expecting this person to love you. Why wouldn't they love you, huh? Right? They're supposed to love you, right? They should love you. Love is something that we give. Love is something that our life should be an expression of. It's not something that we talk about. Just saying I love you is not enough. It should be to the point when we tell someone I love you that they say, I know. And not in a facetious way, but in a way like, it's been proven to me every single day. I feel it. I know it. I see it. It's obvious. Love should be obvious. It shouldn't be obvious that you should be loved. It should be obvious that you love someone. And it shouldn't be just obvious to you, my dear love bug. But it has to be obvious to the person you claim to love. It should be obvious to the people witnessing. It should be to the point where someone says, man, she really loves you. Because love is an action verb. It's something that is a behavior. It's something that you give in order to receive. So let me jump off my soapbox because, we can talk about love, and I think we're going to have to talk about love some. We haven't had a love show. I don't know. We probably talked about it in February. I always squeeze some love in somewhere, don't I? Yeah, because we need more love. We need to have more shows talking about love and how to love. Be like Lil Wayne. I'm going to show you how to love. Yeah, because you ain't been loved properly. A lot of us haven't been loved properly, and that is probably what we're really dealing with in life. Speaking of, that's today's topic about toxic relationships. Toxic relationships. This show is dedicated to Humble Listener. Humble Listener is a listener who wrote me a very extensive letter expressing her discontent with one being called a love bug. She says she's almost 35 years old. Don't be calling her no love bug. Well, love bug, baby, I'm a love bug you, and I'm going to keep calling you a love bug. I don't want to call you no hate bug. What kind of bug do you want to be? I'm hoping that you want to be a person who is a walking expression of love. And so I will continue to call all of my listeners, all of my family, love bug. That's how you know who you are. That's how you know you're a listener of this show. Anybody who listens to this show, I know they listen to my show because when they see me or attend one of my events, they say, hey, love bug, which gets me excited because it lets me know that someone is listening and someone is a part of my Get High on Motivation family. So welcome to the family, love bug, Miss Humble Listener. So Miss Humble Listener was not happy with some advice that I had given about an abusive mom in a situation. She felt that my answer was insufficient, and she had a whole extra point of view. So I'm going to give me some tea, and then we're going to talk about what's real. So love bugs, understand that I answer your questions from my own perspective, and it's the only one that I have, unless I have someone else here with me as a guest on my show. So you will get my perspective unless I've done some homework and did some research to find out what the experts say. Like today, I did a little homework because a lot of people are dealing with toxic relationships and a lot of people are dealing with toxic parents. The listener that wrote in definitely is dealing with a toxic parent, which I can totally identify with. I have toxic parents too, and I know very many of you do as well. But I think she was upset mostly because I was not mad at my toxic parent, or I didn't encourage my listener to cut that person off. So we're going to talk about today what a toxic relationship is, how to identify it, who does this happen to, why does this happen, what are the causes, and what do you do once you figure out you're in a toxic relationship? How do you handle accordingly? Well, the main thing, and I don't know why I just flipped the page because I was on my page with my notes that I needed for you. What is a toxic relationship? Well, like I said, I did some homework. And at heysigmund.com, they defined a toxic relationship as one that contaminates your self-esteem, your happiness, and the way you see the world. I was like, dead on. That's it right there. Yes, toxic relationships are contaminating. They are contaminating and they are contagious. Toxic relationships not only affect the relationship or the people inside the relationship, but toxic relationships also affect the relationships outside of that relationship. And so that is an indicator sometimes that you're in a toxic relationship. When people are avoiding the person that's in your life or being around you all together, especially if it's a couple. A toxic relationship is the relationship that you don't want nobody in. You don't even want to take anybody around you all because you know it's going to be chaotic, a chaotic experience. It might be explosive. Another way that you know that it's a toxic relationship is that it is consistently draining. And right now, I definitely want to speak to a romantic relationship, but this also counts for family as well and platonic relationships. But if the relationship feels draining, whether it's mentally draining, emotionally draining, which can lead to physically draining, if it's damaging in any of those aspects, mentally, emotionally, and definitely physically, if you're in a physically damaging relationship, more than likely it's time to go. But if you're very committed, then get help. What is a toxic relationship? It's one that may not have started toxic. Toxic relationships don't always start off toxic. They don't always have red flags at the beginning. Sometimes they don't reveal themselves until later. You know, we've been talking about how we date someone's ego for the first 3 months. Sometimes the toxicity doesn't come out until after that. Or maybe something happens while two people are together that turns it into a toxic relationship. So let's talk about some causes really quick. Some causes of a toxic relationship sometimes comes from festering grudges, like festering hurts. Like you did this to me some years ago, and I'm still holding on to it. And it's what that does is that creates a space for you to act toxic. See, sometimes toxic relationships aren't intentional. Toxic people aren't always toxic intentionally. Toxic people have a reason for their behavior, honestly. Whether it is intentional or unintentional, it's definitely more than likely some kind of subconscious patterning. Maybe this person had a traumatic childhood. Maybe they are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Maybe you did something to them and they're still holding on to it and don't know, or don't know how to release the hurt. Sometimes we don't know how to release the hurt or release the pain, even though we really truly desire to forgive the person. I need to write myself a note. We need to talk about how to forgive. Because sometimes forgiveness ain't just saying, I forgive you. You can say that, but that doesn't mean that you really mean it deep down in your heart and in your spirit. Forgiveness can be tough sometimes. Toxic people. How do we get in these toxic relationships? Well, toxic relationships, first of all, can happen to healthy people. They can happen to very healthy, high self esteem, confident, successful people. It doesn't have to be some insecure woman or a man that's been scorned by women. It doesn't have to be anything of that sort. People become toxic because of what happens to them. Like we always say, hurt people hurt people. And maybe you're dealing with a hurt person that needs healing. What other kind of people? Why do we become toxic people? How do we end up in these toxic relationships? You may have been raised by toxic parents. We date our parents. And if you had a toxic childhood, you grew up with a very demeaning mother or father, or if you were raised by your grandparent and they were demeaning to you as you growing up, calling you ugly, calling you funny looking. I recently made a list of negative messaging, and I've been challenging my clients to do the same, to write out a list of all the negative messages you have received throughout your life, because I'm sure you've been getting plenty of them, especially as a kid. Whether they came from your parents, they could have come from your siblings, from an older sibling, from an older cousin. You may have received negative messages from a teacher. I had a teacher who I believe really meant well. He told me, don't be pretty and unaware. And I thought this was great advice. And I lived about until I was almost 30 years old, possibly, until I figured out this was horrible advice. It's a negative message. And it's made me focus on possibly the wrong things in life, or not accept and embrace beauty. I view beauty as a I view beauty as something that like was like a stain on my skin or something. I don't know. May have created me to be a toxic person. How do you know if you're the toxic person? Now that can be even a better question. Well, you're the person that I'm talking about. You're the person that is in a relationship that's toxic, because usually a toxic relationship comes from two toxic people. Sometimes it could just be one, because toxic people leave a trail of broken hearts and broken people and broken relationships. Do you have a trail of broken people and broken relationships behind you? Or are you still cool with the folks that you used to date? That could be an indicator of whether or not you're the toxic person or not. This communications expert and psychologist named Lillian Glass, she says that sometimes toxic relationships just come from imperfect pairings. I mean, you just matched wrong. You matched up with the wrong person. Two good ones are two control freaks. If both of you are controlling, you're definitely going to be in a toxic relationship, because you always are going to be fighting for who's going to be boss, who's going to be in control. That makes for a very rah-rah relationship. Please believe. I know. I have definitely been victim and victimizer in it, unfortunately. There's even the thing like, say, if you got the person that is a harsh talker, like I got a harsh mouth. I have a very strong personality. I'm an alpha female. And so it wouldn't serve me to date someone with thin skin. It doesn't work out. I've been there, done that. And I've broken up with a guy one time because he was just so soft and he was so sweet. And I felt like I was going to damage him. I didn't want him to be out there being damaged goods. So I had to let him go for his and my own greater good. Woo, I just figured something out. If you figure out that you're the toxic person, let the non-toxic person go and get yourself together and get your toxins out. Detox. We need to detox. And not y'all be out here trying to detox like drinking these juices and stuff, but the real detox needs to be mental. We need to do a mental detox. Writing out that negative messaging thing, that's a mental detox. That's getting out all the stuff that's in you, that's buried deep in you. You know, doing the real spiritual work, you need to do a spiritual detox, love bugs. As a matter of fact, since we're talking about a spiritual detox, I'm going to tell you where you can go to get a spiritual detox. You can come to me. You can come to Bibi the Motivator. I am teamed up with Goddess Mia the Culture Witch, and we are bringing you an online course called The Art and Science of Self-Healing. It's a 7-week course. It's going to be easy. It'll take 15 minutes or less out of your day to go through this course, and then we'll meet live on Saturdays. But the rest of it is self-guided, so you can do it when it's, most convenient for you. And we're going to go through foods to help you detox. We're going to go through some activities, some writing activities to help you detox. We're going to have meditations. We got some chants. We got some stuff. We're going to show you how to heal your chakras using 7 different modalities. Come on, man. You're going to be a spiritual warrior out here, a spiritual gangster. Yes. I'm telling you, I need to sign up for that, y'all. I ain't going to say no more about that. This ain't commercial time, but shoot, I might need to mention that to you on the commercial too, because I need to remind you. But what do you do if you're in a toxic relationship? If you are in one of those physically toxic relationships and you are being beat on, whether you are a man or a woman, please believe there are some woman beaters out there. I feel like I'm a former woman beater. I hope I'm not a current woman beater. Not woman beater. Lord have mercy. Man beater. Yeah, I used to get hands-on. If you didn't close your mouth, I tell you better close your mouth. If not, I was going to help you close it. It was how I was raised, and I didn't realize for a long time that that's not the way to be in a relationship. But hey, toxic childhood. I'm growing out here. I'm healing out here, y'all. I'm trying to get myself right so I can be with Mr. Right. Because I don't want Mr. Right now or Mr. Wrong or any of those other misters. Right now, I'm trying to get myself together so I can be ready and prepared for him when he shows up at my doorstep. So if you are in a physically abusive relationship, I have a phone number for you. So take your ink pen out or get the dial pad or something up on your phone. But 1-800-799-7233 is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. 1-800-799-7233. And yes, it is safe to call. You'll have somebody there that can help you possibly talk through what's going on. So that way you don't have to go be hands-on with somebody. We have to exercise our tools, and we have to reach out and find the resources to help us be our best selves. We're listening to this show because we desire to be a better version of ourselves. So let's make sure that we are finding the resources and collecting the tools, equipping ourselves with the tools to make this be. All right. We got to take a break so we can have time to answer a question. I love y'all. I can't wait to be back with y'all next week. Ooh, next week I'm going to be a year older. And so let's get high on motivation. New season next week. You better be ready for the newness and tell everybody you know. They need to be listening to the Get High on Motivation show. All right. Where is my music? I have gone past commercial time. Zoom out. Zoom out. I try to do some of my editing while I'm recording. It saves time on the playback because I do have to listen to it completely before I even publish it. And then I listen to it again right after I publish it to see if it's something that I missed before y'all catch it. It's a lot, ain't it? That's why I got to get an editor. I'm getting an editor. I am buying an editor for my birthday. Not a digital editor, but a human life editor. I am hiring an editor for my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. All right. Commercial time. I need something to drink. Oh, my watch right here. I'm in this little small closet today. I kind of like it. I'm usually in a big, long closet where I have to stand up. I'm seated in a chair. So this quite possibly should be the last time that you can watch me live for free, unless I decide just to share some little pieces here and there. But there is a membership program so that you can see the behind the scenes all the time, because you don't get all the juice on the podcast, because sometimes I give more juice on the video recordings and then I have to edit it down to fit that 30-minute slot, because I am dead set on them 30 minutes. So we know what to expect from each other. All right, it's time to record a commercial and then get back to the show. Hey, love bugs. I know you're curious about that art and science of self-healing. You should be. It is available. Is going to launch on August 30th is when we get started for a quick meet and greet to send you on your way to be your best self, to go through these modules. They are very simple modules. Each module is about 5 minutes. So like I said, this will take 15 minutes or less out of your day. Easy peasy to do. If you're tired of going to the doctor and not getting results, if you're just looking for a different way to be, if you're looking to expand your spiritual practices, this is the course for you. The course is priced at, I want to say, I don't know, $397, but we're currently offering it for this introductory course or this introductory rate of $197. And if you need a coupon, then you better holler at me personally and I'll give you a 50% off coupon. So let's get back to the show because we got to answer a question. Dear Mimi, how does second guessing affect my mindset? Great question. I love when y'all give me some good questions. Y'all give me some questions that I hadn't thought of myself sometimes. Sometimes y'all got questions that I have too, which I love because then I get to answer it and get an answer for myself. Because just because I can answer stuff for you doesn't mean that I can always answer stuff for myself. So keep sending in your questions. You can send them in as a DM. Send them to me on my website. That's where I prefer to get it, at mimithemotivator.com. That's 2 I's, not 2 E's. And how does second guessing affect our mindset, love bugs? Well, I always think about Lisa Nicole Cloud and hearing her say that 1 ounce of doubt and you're out. Second guessing is having doubt. Second guessing comes from a place of fear, and we can only operate from fear or faith. So you have to make a decision. Are you going to operate from fear or faith? Are you going to operate from a place that everything always works out for me, or from a place that I better have a plan B? If you have a plan B, know that you don't have faith in plan A. Point blank, period. There's a thing called a contingency plan, which is quite different from a plan B. A contingency plan is in place in case a certain something that you already know is a possibility of something happening to you or happening in a situation, and you have a plan in place to handle that. It is not a separate plan or a replacement plan. It's a supplemental plan or a complementing plan. You got to have your plan A and have faith like none other in plan A until something reveals itself to you to change course. And that doesn't mean that you're not sticking with plan A. It means that you are adapting or amending plan A. Never lose sight of the goal. Things are going to come at you to make you feel like the goal is not the right goal because things aren't going your way or things aren't being easy for you. Change the course. Don't change the goal. And also, if you know that what you're doing is the thing that works, continue to do it. At least continue to do it enough till you know that you're convinced that, oh, this does not work. Trial and error. Be ready to fail. Failure is a step towards success. Quit being scared out here. Quit being scared of success. I know that's what y'all really scared of. That's why you second guessing. Don't second guess. Your mind is tapped into the one mind. And if it's not, close your eyes, take some deep breaths and get in tune. So that way you know that you are making the best decision that is coming from you and not from your mind, because your mind is tricky and can be programmed. But follow your spirit, follow your intuition, follow your gut, follow your heart. That's the mind down here, the mind that's connected to a different source, that is not externally influenced. We have to really know that we are the ones to do what we're thinking about doing. We also have to have faith in ourselves and trust ourselves as we trust God or trust the universe. You can't trust God without trusting yourself, and you can't trust yourself without trusting the universe. They're the same thing. So I want to challenge us all this week to operate in faith and take steps based in faith. Don't second guess yourself. Question the people around you, but don't question yourself. Question your thinking, but don't question your heart. Thank you for tuning in, love bugs. I am your favorite motivator's favorite motivator, Mimi the Motivator, and this is the Get High on Motivation Show. Be happy, be healthy, be you. You know I love you. And put on your crown. Goodbye to yesterday. Welcome to life eternal. Ooh. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you have found my show on your favorite music app or podcasting app. I'm on Pandora, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. I don't know. Find me out there. I'm like on 20 different outlets. You can find me, subscribe. And if you can leave 5 stars, leave them. If you can leave a comment, leave that too. I love feedback, just like I love you. Bye, y'all.